always use fresh macaroni. If the box rattles, throw it away. Ah.
Your cable TV is experiencing difficulties. Please do not panic. Resist the temptation to read or talk to loved ones. Do not attempt sexual relations.
Is this are we going or are we testing? What's going on?
So good. So good.
Alright, welcome back, guys. Fuck it. This is actually how I start every podcast. I just say fuck it. Let's go.
It can only get better from there, innit?
Fuck it, man.
It usually doesn't. It gets way worse.
We're here for the ride, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
I normally say, do you want me to introduce you or do you want to introduce yourselves? But seeing as we've met 10 seconds ago, I'm probably going to defer this over to both of you. Which one would like to go first?
Do the honors.
Okay. What do you want to know?
So you are?
Oh, right. So I'm Connor. I play bass in Frantic State.
I'm Will. I'm looking forward to talking about the Roman Empire today.
What is your Roman Empire?
What is my Roman? See, I've been asked this a few times, and I have. It's never crossed my mind before. So is this like a new phenomenon?
It's like
male
a meme
gender?
that's been circling,
Right.
where it's like guys will fucking know nothing about normal life, and then you ask them about the Roman Empire, and then all of a sudden
Right.
they're fucking experts.
Okay.
Type shit, right? And then people are like, well, the Roman Empire isn't my Roman Empire. Fucking Star Trek seasons 1 to 5 is my Roman
Right.
Empire. Do you
So-
know what I mean?
Everyone
caught
has
up.
a Roman Empire.
Everyone has a Roman Empire.
I mean, so for me, it could be like Star Wars or something. For you, I don't know.
I don't know. Probably some like season 1 through 12 Simpsons
I love
trivia.
that we were both going for just like media.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
also like you chose something with an actual empire in it. First of all.
Whoa. This is true.
But also season 1 through 12 of Simpsons bangs.
Yeah, can't be topped.
Best seasons of Simpsons ever.
Some good ones in like 14, 15 maybe, but that's when it starts.
Yeah, as soon as you get to the 20s, it's
You might as well forget about it. Put something else on.
yeah. And Star Wars, everyone has a fucking opinion on Star Wars and their mother.
I don't want to hear it, man.
Well, okay, what are you? You love everything, or is it just like I like episode 1 and 2 and 3?
See,
First of all, if you just love episode 1, you're fucking weird. But
no, I mean, that being said, like, Duel of Fates does fucking slap.
bangs, yeah.
And
Darth
I
Maul?
think a lot of people are coming around to the idea of the prequel trilogy. And,
Okay.
You know, obviously, the originals top tier. And, you know, give it 10 years and the sequel trilogy might be, like, respected. That being said, episode 8, I mean, polarizing opinion, but I do like it.
I like episode 8. I fucking hate episode 9.
They did something different, and I don't think the world was ready for it.
The world was already
The
for.
world was not ready for Last Jedi.
Yes, it's not like Star Wars has been around for
40
what was
years,
it, 40, 50
45.
years, yeah. Like they weren't ready. It was
Nah,
too
they
new
weren't.
for
People
that.
have been doomsday prepping that.
But yeah, so Connor and Will obviously mentioned briefly Frantic State, which I don't know how long have you been running now?
6 years this month or something like that.
Shit, yeah.
That's when we put out our first record. Connor wasn't a part of that. He joined like pretty much like after we like recorded it.
Through like force, he just came in and was like, "Give me credit."
Yeah, straight up.
He's still.
This is all me.
For the next like 6 years of us doing this shit. But, yeah, like pretty much 6 years in the game. I don't see us really like stopping anytime soon because it's just a part of our lives now.
That's actually why we're here. This isn't a podcast, it's an intervention.
yeah.
You guys need to
So
stop.
the death of Frantic State. Listen,
The
But
fall
how
of the
did you get
Roman
started with
Empire.
that? Like, is it just like you always love music type thing, or?
Yeah, I guess like we've all been in bands before, this sort of thing. Like I've been in a few different like bands before that, like mainly just doing like vocals and stuff. But like I've dabbled with other instruments, and you know, it's just who you meet along the way, and then you kind of get bored with like what you're doing right now, or like you want to like try something else, or like broaden your horizons, or like the band you're in breaks up or something, so you just want to like try to keep it going. Like for me, I left the project I was in to go to university. First week in, I was like, this is the biggest mistake I've made.
What did
But
you pick to study in university? Not like the first weekend.
music, obviously.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I'm like art student like talent.
And
So
then you
no
rolled in, you're
talent
like,
at all.
They can't tell me what to do.
Yeah. So that was just sort of how that panned out for me. But like a mate of mine who I knew from like shows and stuff just hit me up saying like, let's fucking do something. And I met you like that previous summer or something. You just moved up, but I'll let
Yeah.
you take the wheel.
Yeah, so like, I mean, my sort of background is I've kind of always been in bands since I was younger. Like usually like heavy bands to be fair. And yeah, I'd not long moved, not too far away. And yeah, Will was playing in a band with one of my like long time friends, um, who I'd like reconnected when I moved back, in full contact, and then basically he hit me up like one day and just said like, do you still want to play bass in a band? I was like, yeah, like raring to go, like I wanted to do some heavy stuff again. And yeah, he just said like, Will like was in a new project, they were looking for a bassist, so yeah, I met up with Josh the guitarist like one weekend and then started learning the songs, and then that's that's how we sort of met really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you were doing, what was it, trip hop before that?
Yeah, like trip hoppy stuff. Yeah, so
Very
it was a big change, but it was a good one, and it was one that I think was needed. So yeah, couldn't be happier now.
I don't think we've actually touched on like what music you kind of do, or if you put yourself in a genre label or anything like that. But I've obviously the people who run this Harshiv, etc., have sent me like a bunch of stuff that you've done.
Sorry about that.
No, it's alright. I was in the hospital when it happened. I was
Oh,
I'm kidding.
that's the last thing you need
we'll
on
keep
top
you
of
in
it.
there, don't
That's
worry.
everything. I was getting an A test and I just went, turn this shit up. But no, like, were you always in that genre when you started doing the vocals for it? And I know you said you did trip hop before.
Yeah, like I think I've been involved within that sort of music and that culture probably since I was about like 14 or 15 years old. So I've been like gigging in various bands like around like Leicester and the local areas for like pretty much most of like my like teen and adult life. So that's just sort of how that panned out. I've obviously like broadened horizons in terms of like musical taste like over the years and stuff, but I was just so like ready to fucking like just listen to one thing and like focus on doing one thing. So I had like the most boring music taste like as a child, and like going into it like my teen years. So for me, it was just always like straight like heavy music, metal, like stuff like that. So I've been like around that sort of scene for a very long time, and I think you just progress like through different like styles of that. So like start off with, like metal and then going into like punk music, and what we do now is like hardcore music, which um, I don't know if you want to talk about that a little more. So.
Well, like I mean, my background of like music in general, like I've been going to gigs since I think the first local gig that I went to, I was about maybe 10 or 11, with like one of my friends from childhood, and it was like local rock bands and like a few like metal bands, but yeah, like ever since then I've been hooked, and I've always like gone to like live music and stuff, but I enjoy all different kinds of everything really, like from like I was raised on soul, but like I like my hip hop. Always liked heavier music when I was growing up. Like a lot of my friends from childhood were like quite into like metalcore and various other like subgenres that span from the sort of metal umbrella. So yeah, ever since then, like I've always had like a liking for like heavier stuff, but more of an appreciation for like all kinds of music. But when it comes to hardcore, I think it was just like something clicked with me, where it was a genre that like brought in all my favorite kind of parts of music and like that kind of attitude as well. Like I was hooked pretty early on, to be fair.
It's very culture driven, like in terms of like it kind of sticks out more than anything else really in terms of like that bracket of like genres and stuff like that with hardcore, because it's very much like derivative of like skateboarding and like hip hop culture. So things like that are always like big elements of it, like with how like people dress, or like how like obviously like skateboarding was like a big thing like where we're from as well. So like I didn't think either of us have really like touched a skateboard before.
I tried to learn how to skate when I was 21 and
You eat shit straight away.
yeah, I'd like just had my chest like tattooed and fucked it up.
But speaking in that essence, you just come off the tour or like recently,
Yes.
across Europe.
Uh-huh.
How is it?
So if I'm not mistaken, it was 4 countries and
Is it 8 cities?
like 7 or 8 cities. I want to say. So we did Belgium, Germany, Switzerland and France, and this is actually our second time over there as well. So I think like after the first time, we were just like itching to go back because I think we've had a lot more exposure, oddly enough, as a UK band to Europe rather than actual like playing in the UK, which is like pretty uncommon. But there's been like a lot of like forks in the road for us in terms of like performing like over the last 5 6 years that we're sort of like ironing the kinks out of now, and then we're able to like finally get back on the road again. So I think like a good way to start that was to go back like overseas where we feel like we have the most connections, or at least like the strongest connections in terms of like people that can really like take us out with them and like take good care of us and stuff. So yeah, like it was a pretty wild time. Just super hot. Paris in the summer is the worst shit imaginable.
Crazy. Yeah.
Super like. I mean, I like it. It makes me feel at home for sure. But yeah, it was a super fun time. But I mean, if you got anything you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to take the opportunity to shout out our friends in Life Crusher who took us out there. Like it was a split tour, so both bands played every night, and they were just like from the. I mean, we were in conversation with like one member prior to it, but like as soon as like we met on the first day, we were like, these guys are gonna be so much fun to like tour with. But yeah, like it's probably been about 3 or 4 years since our last tour there, so it's like
2019.
pre-COVID. But I feel like you have to timestamp everything with pre-COVID now.
absolutely.
But yeah, the before times. Yeah, but like we were really keen to get back over there again, and we also managed to have like a little break in between this one as well, where we got to see like some proper sights in Switzerland. We did a ton of like wild swimming and stuff, so it was like it was good. Like we felt refreshed every night, and that's that's rare on a tour. Yeah, yeah. So it was really beautiful.
In terms of touring, as well, obviously going across different cities, so countries, and also you're from England, so you've already flown up to be your first show, and then you're doing 7 8 shows, and I imagine you're doing
Yeah, yeah.
Like pretty late. Yeah.
so you're spending like your days in these cities. You're obviously, I'm assuming, having to rehearse as well, right? And then you're also trying to relax. What is your favorite part? Like, 'cause I talk to a lot of people who tour, and it almost sounds like they hate it. And yet, as soon as like they finish, it's like, no, it's the best time.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like I think the show aspect of it, that's expected. That's very much like secondary at this point. Like you know it's gonna happen. You know it's either gonna go one way or another. But obviously there's that unpredictability of like everything else that happens in between that, which I think is like where the actual enjoyment comes from. So like we'll probably spend the majority of the daytime like traveling to and from the shows. So like an average day on tour would probably like start pretty early because you want to make sure everyone's up and like um, refreshed and ready to go. And then I think you hit the road like 11 or like 12 or something. And then you're probably getting to most venues between like 4 and 5 p.m. So it's like a pretty long drive a lot of the time, like 6 7 hours sometimes, maybe like 3 if you're lucky. But it's pretty grueling to say the least, especially like in the summer heat as well. And we've already done like a run in like that kind of like conditions as well. So it was a bit challenging at times, but you know, it flies by thankfully. And then you play the show, you just chill out afterwards, and then but it's again it's like the downtime in between. Like obviously we had some like time to ourselves between shows at the point where we were just like doing all this sightseeing and like looking at these like crazy locations. Like one day I wake up to the sound of like cowbells and it's like I'm on the wallpaper of like Windows XP or something. I'm not even kidding, man. Like we'll have to like throw you a photo or something to put up on screen, but like I kid you not, it was like some fucking Sound of Music type shit.
It was
It was
wild, bro.
crazy and like yeah, it's a far cry from Grey Leicester today, but yeah, it's yeah, it's super crazy, and I think you have like a better appreciation for what you're doing. It's like yesterday I was in Leicester, and today I am chilling out in like the streets of Belgium somewhere. So like from Belgrade to Belgium, literally, that's my memoir right there. So like it's like it's crazy, really, and you have a big appreciation for it for sure. Top 10 Gooby Woobies.
Top 10.
Follow for a free iPhone 5.
Number 15.
3, 17, 19, 21.
Can I just put it here?
Do whatever you want. It's your podcast, bro. I ain't paying you.
That's true. That's sadly true.
You look
Oh, we started by the way. Are you recording?
you look like you got one of those like you know those
This
like
is-
belts where you could put the
The chest to like check your heart rate and shit.
yeah, but it's like those belt buckles that have the fucking like the 3D image on them or some shit. And you can like type it in.
Well, I always believe my state should be a carry. So,
Hard as fuck.
ladies and gentlemen, we had some technical difficulties, but we are now back with Frantic State, and I'm talking in a frantic state. We were talking about, obviously, the differences between countries. Welcome to the political part. What's your take on Brexit, Ruffle?
Well,
No, but obviously you've gone around. You were mentioning that you obviously went to Belgium, etc., France, enjoying the fucking fields and the waters and other things they have that I never know of because I've never been.
the delicacies.
Oh yeah, tell me about the food actually.
Bro,
man.
vegan food in Europe is off the fucking chain. Depending on where you're going, I got fucked over at a Burger King in Germany because it had plant-based in massive letters. And I was like eating outside, I was fucking starving. And Franz, who plays guitar in the other band, turns around and goes, do you want me to tell you now or later? That's real cheese and real mayo in there. So they get plant-based in massive letters, and then in this tiny font underneath they say when you remove the cheese. And
Right. So, okay, like we'll go off on a tangent, obviously.
We love
What is who is plant based for? Like, tell me, because
mainly.
It is the
a
political part.
vegan can't eat
It's-
majority of plant based stuff without removing
Brontosauruses mainly.
ingredients.
Yeah, you can only eat
yeah,
Brontosaurus.
but like,
that's
I'm
it.
not referring to myself as a fucking herbivore. Like, come on. But like, a meat eater's not even gonna bat an eyelid at a plant-based item. If it's vegan, that's fine. Maybe they will. But
Yeah.
who is plant-based for? You're wasting money. Fuck you.
I mean, plant-based a lot of the time
This
though
episode
is vegan.
sponsored by plant-based.
Impossible
The
burgers.
Beyond Burger, yeah.
Yeah.
But you've got
No,
meat,
but
you got normal
plant-based
meat
is like-
products, you got plant-based, and then you got vegan stuff.
I think
I've-
the idea
Yeah.
is that by calling it plant-based, it's a marketing
You're
strategy.
gaslighting.
Yeah, literally. By calling it plant-based, you're technically going, maybe you can eat this. You
Maybe.
fucking
I mean, the cow that
broken
it's
human
made
being."
of ate a lot of grass.
Dude,
So-
it's like Russian roulette with fucking food, man. Like, but sometimes you can't.
But
pick your
less
battles.
dangerous.
Like, you know, like it's a very common misconception that when touring, especially abroad, you're gonna eat like shit. Which,
Right.
to be fair, the last tour we did, it was
Yeah.
like
So not a misconception.
Well,
The
because-
tour before was hummus and breads and spreading
Oh,
it
wow.
on
Dude,
your bread. With
it was
a credit
like
card.
little bakery every morning because we were going through most of like mainland Europe, so it was mainly Germany and France.
okay.
So it was like Lidl's or Audis every day, and we were just wasting our money on pretzels that were like the size of your fucking head. And this was before McDonald's or like the majority of fast food restaurants had like vegan suitable items. So
Right.
we go over to Germany and we're seeing like a vegan beef burger that bleeds, or like a vegan chicken nuggets that you can get with a fucking beer.
I want to
at
be so
McDonald's.
real. That's the vegan again tangents. The fucking idea of a vegan burger that bleeds kind of defeats the purpose of like, yeah, you know what? I don't want to eat animals. I don't want to do that. But what I do want is for my shit to bleed like what?
To be fair, hot take on this, but like so I've been vegan for like probably like approaching 6 years now. But before then,
You started the band. It was an
Bro-
entry requirement.
yeah, straight up. I ate everything. Like, if you had weird meat that I could try, innuendo there, then I would try it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd like ostrich burgers and shit like that. You know, just
Right.
the mad shit that they bring out for the sake of it. Like, I would eat all that shit, but then going vegan, I went the opposite way. But it's just because I like animals, innit? But but
I
the
still want
food
my burger to
side,
bleed.
yeah, like I said, I used to love steak. So if you can get as close to steak as possible without fucking a cow
Medium
up,
rare vegan.
I'm
man.
down.
Yeah, but I mean, going back to it, like we ate like McDonald's probably. I mean, sometimes twice a day while we were out there. And we were on the road the first time in Europe for like close to 2 weeks, and then this time around, like we were just like, right, let's try. I don't think we even saw a McDonald's, let alone went inside one. Like we went Burger King one time, and like really, it was just yeah,
They
fucking
betrayed
us.
Yeah. PSA, fuck German Burger King. Like, if we're calling out the hot takes on this podcast, sort yourself out, German Burger King. I swear to God. Nothing against Germans at all. Lovely people.
I'm so glad you added that. Nothing against
Yeah.
German. Because now I can cut it for you to say fuck German. Nothing against Burger King.
No.
Fuck.
Like, Germany's always been very kind to us, but that one time, you get one chance. So
And Germany knows. It already lost its chance in 1940. No, again.
Wow, fair play. But yeah, we ate really well the second time around. The food was pretty expensive, but you know it.
Worth it.
How often are you in Switzerland for? Not
Oh, look at
very.
me. They don't let me in Switzerland. I don't,
I
they don't let
wonder
me on the
why.
plane. That's...
Jesus Christ. Hey, it's like that, is it? Okay.
I shit you not, again, weird tangent. I have like an away day for where I work. And I didn't know anything about this until recently. And they were like, Ricky, are you coming? I was like, yeah, sure. Well, like, when is it? And they were like, oh, Friday the 13th. And I'm immediately like, I'm good. I'm okay. And
Yeah.
they're like, no, you have to. I was like, okay, where is it? Oh, no, I said, what's happening? And they're like, it's fun. And whenever your workplace says something's fun,
yeah,
it's
It's
not
fun with the
fun.
whole
It's gonna be
family,
fun.
man.
It's
We're like one
genuinely,
big family.
you're going to meet people in other departments and you're going to do fun challenges and activities. You're going to go around. I'm like, great.
stuff that you definitely want to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is your one and only time that you'll ever see these people in other departments. as
literally.
well.
And so
Like,
I'm being told I have to go somewhere on Friday the 13th and run around and do I don't like to run,
Yeah.
first of
And
all. I sweat now.
You're,
sick.
you're reading this email as you're finishing off like Final Destination
I'm
5
not reading
or
this email.
something.
They're talking to me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like processing this. And I was like, is he at the office? And they're like, no, we've got a special place. And I'm like, what's the special place? And they went, oh, it's at an airport.
Yeah.
And I was like, so you want me, the brown person in your team, on Friday the 13th to run around an airport
What could go
sweating,
wrong?
trying to solve a challenge? Like, no, I can save them. Like, I can't.
What
So-
could go wrong?
So yeah, I've never been to Switzerland. But I think food's a very important point if you are going to be touring. I think because I can understand the idea of people saying like, you know, you eat shit because you're trying to like obviously get your way through food so you can sleep, etc., etc. But if you are making food an important part of your tour, I feel like you're getting that wider experience of where you're going as well.
Oh yeah, totally.
But in regards to that in the future, like, do you have places that you're planning to tour where you haven't before?
Oh yeah.
Or do you have in like
We've
the
done a
pipeline?
lot
whole
of
bunch of places.
Yeah, we've done a lot of like meat and potatoes Europe, and we'd rather do like grapes and wine Europe. So we want to do some like sunny places like
I
maybe
got you, I
Italy or
got you.
Spain, you know. And like we've heard a lot of things from our friends that have played in places like Spain, where like the scenes over there are like pretty wild. So that's something we definitely like to do, and we'd maybe like to go like other places as well. We definitely love to like tour more of the UK because there's a lot of places that we've either not played in a while or we just straight up haven't played. Like, I mean, how am I going to play Paris before I play Southampton? Like, it's a fuckery, but you know, there's places like that that we love to go to. In fact, you can probably get to Paris for cheaper.
Does that on a train? Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe.
Absolutely.
Like, some of these London prices I'm paying, crazy man. But yeah, there's a lot of places we go. I mean, where would you want to play?
I mean, we've always said that we wanted to play Poland because the other two members who aren't here, Josh and Aaron, they're brothers and they're half Polish, so they have family over there and they've got links over there. And like, so Josh went. It was a couple of years ago, but he managed to find like a place that sold like records and it was a venue at night and stuff. And the guy was like putting a show on, so he ended up going along to it. So, sorry, mate. So yeah. We would like to like hit up Poland at some point. We did the Czech Republic once, but it was like quite like we want to do Prague at some point because it was quite like out in the sticks, which it was a cool show. But yeah, like just more of the major cities, and Barcelona would be tight as well. But
Scotland.
yeah, Scotland. We've
Go
never
back to
played
another land.
Scotland, and
Considering we are all like of
we're all
Scottish
at least
descent.
half Scottish. Like I grew up next to Corby, so that makes me 3/4 Scottish. So Scottish promoters, it hit us up straight up.
So Ancestry.com, so that doesn't work.
No, I don't think that's.
23andMe is like,
Everyone in this room is 1% Scottish. I'm telling you, 100%.
Was it 1 or
I can
100?
understand one person being 1% Scottish. Harshif is 100% anything he wants to be.
We
on
get
the end of
around.
the
What
day.
can I say?
He's, yeah. Harshif is the type of person to be like, today I'm Moroccan, but tomorrow I'll be Irish. It's fine.
Be who you
Gotta
want
keep
to
them
be.
on their toes.
Life
Never
is a
let them
role
know you
playing
first.
game. I'm telling you.
I once got told like I would be happy as a Scotsman because they would describe the most disgusting food to me, and I would be like, I'll take it.
Oh, we were talking about this before we played. Like, you will be like hard gone to like find like something that they won't like deep fry. You know.
Oh yeah,
like,
and I love
deep,
that.
Deep fried battered Mars bar. Crazy.
Okay, but again, name me something deep fried that wasn't delicious.
This is true.
That's true.
I still want to try it. Have you heard of Pizza Crunch?
Is this a deep fried pizza?
It's a deep fried pizza.
Deep fried
Yeah,
pizza.
I've never tried it. Like, but I mean, it'd be hard to find a vegan one. But my God.
Oh
like-
yeah, actually,
But you add a crunchy layer to a pizza.
that's genius. Yeah.
What's
If
not
you,
to
if you
like?
deep fried it and then also melted cheese again on top.
Oh,
You're playing God, man. You can't be doing this shit. What?
If there was one thing I wasn't gonna lose on here, it was food. It was like, speaking of things that I have no idea about, let's talk about fashion.
nah, you're a
Look at us,
stylish
come
guy.
on.
Give yourself some credit, bro.
I'm in a tattered NASA top that's about to show both of my breasts right now. There's no fashion here.
It's vintage.
But well, I like to call it
Distressed.
New wave.
New wave,
I am
nice.
distressed.
I am-
you and me
yes,
both.
thank you for asking.
Anyway, I'm in therapy right now.
This is the therapy.
When
This
I
is
sign
one
up?
big therapy
Yeah.
session. Yeah.
But no. In regards to fashion, obviously, so you guys are touring, you're a band. I think you guys have merch as well.
I mean, we got some of that stuff lying around.
Yeah, we did quite well. We lucked out this time, didn't we? We got like quite a lot of shirts done just beforehand. So we were pretty stocked up for most of it.
Yeah, it really depends. I think like there's such a big focus around like just fashion in general, especially within like our type of culture as well, because obviously it's a derivative of like skateboarding and hip hop, and obviously those two things are very much like
Well, punk as well.
punk as well.
You can't leave
obviously,
punk
yeah,
out as
yeah,
like the
you know,
driving force.
Yeah, of course, silly me. And you know they're all about like as much as it's like sonically about like the music and stuff, it's also very much about like the self-image around
Yeah,
it and
of
stuff.
course.
So you know, it's cool to be able to just like get our own image out there, and then like maybe do like a bit of a streetwear like take on it with some of them as well. I think a
Well, I
lot
was
of
gonna
people,
say like when people often talk about merch, you kind of your brain would normally go to like, you know, a cheap T-shirt with like a concert date put on there. Whereas like if you actually put thought into your merch, and it seems like you guys are somewhat fashion based in regards to obviously subcultures you come from and or are aware of at least. But when you start to put more thought into your merch, do you find that you kind of also want to dive into that aspect more as well as the music?
yeah, I'd say so. Like for us two in particular, like we're pretty like I mean, you're the one that's like mainly been involved with like streetwear and stuff with like your past jobs and things like that, but I've been around it like just as much. Like I kind of just want to immerse myself in that and just, you know, tag along with Connor because he's the cool guy, gets in all the cool
Definitely not.
events and shit. But yeah, I think no one really sees a problem paying £50 for like a Stussy t-shirt, so why the hell can't we try and like dip our toes in that market, you know? But like a lot of bands are trying to do that, and like you can do like a rip of like a, I don't know, like an old Supreme t-shirt or something, which to be fair, we kind of did with our latest one, with like the font type fonts and stuff like that. But it's little things like that really that we just sort of like injecting our own like streetwear personalities into stuff really.
I think also like just to add to what Will said, like I think fashion and like the hardcore scene can sort of like fashion can kind of almost be a bit of a dirty word sometimes because so much of it is like rooted into the foundations of punk, which is obviously, you know, anti like
The
everything,
system
like,
and everything, yeah.
literally anti-consumerism and whatnot. But I don't know, like especially like a lot of modern hardcore shows, like there's some fresh looking people out there. Like I mean, sneaker
I can't tell if it's a hardcore show or a garage.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
crazy.
It's true.
Why not? But that's what we'd back. I think there is an element of like I agree that I think fashion has become like such a I think it's always been a huge pop culture, obviously, but when you are kind of diving into that world where there is something that was started out so anti-consumerism, but now you're also fighting against what is the peak of consumerism, which is like
Yeah.
trends in regards to like not only sneakerheads, but also like, you know, certain jacket wear or certain brand wear and stuff like that. I think finding that division is kind of interesting, especially in the space room with music.
Yeah,
Because
I
music
mean,
is so driven by people who obviously put up brands
yeah.
rather than like put their own shit out there necessarily.
Yeah, I mean it's a weird one because like a lot of sort of like late 80s and early 90s like hardcore acts are pictured wearing like, you know, sneakers that a lot of people would make a lot of money off of now. Do you know what I mean? And I don't even think that was intentional, like an intentional style choice in some respects, because like trainers were cheaper then.
Yeah, it's just what you wear.
And it
Genuinely,
like
yeah.
you're going out to perform in front of a load of people, so you probably want to wear some comfortable shoes, so you get sportswear. But then you see some of these cool like black and white or like faded like photos from back then of like, I don't know, like, you know,
Anthrax
like,
or something. They've all
yeah,
got, like Air Jordans.
or like youth of today, and they're all wearing New Balance, like,
Yeah.
which it's kind of it's interesting. But I think this like the sneakerhead culture within hardcore does run deep, whether people want to believe it or not.
Yeah, and there's like a lot more involvement with like bigger streetwear brands now that are like getting involved with like putting on shows for bands, or like getting involved with like the record labels, or in like and things like that. To name a few brands, like it's like the Hundreds, which is run by like people that have like punk rock ideologies, and then you got newer stuff like Brain Dead as well. There's a lot of like it's they're very much immersed in each other.
Yeah, there's
I'd say.
crossover.
And yeah, I don't know. My mind's kind of gone blank. Have a sip of Coke.
Well, we were speaking about fashion, and you guys seem to have, like, obviously, I imagine you both have quite a bit of knowledge, especially with your past work, etc. But obviously, we are missing a certain number of people who aren't here today that are a part of Frantic State. This is either your chance to just take the piss out of them.
They'll be
but also-
remembered.
Yeah, R.I.P. But also, just in the sense, I was gonna say, if there was anything that you could put forward about them as well, like in terms of like how they not only contribute, but like sort of like the vibe that you guys have together.
Shout out the brothers Martin. So Josh, who is like
By the way, the Brothers Martin sounds like the most
Yeah.
80s London serial killer duo.
for
The
sure.
Gray twins and the Brothers Martin were
For
against
sure.
They knew each other very well.
I mean, Josh is like the epicenter of it all. Like he is like the guy who
The
just
riff
does-
machine.
Yeah, he does all the heavy lifting really, and then I mean Aaron as well, being the drummer. Like they're both brothers. They just like work off of each other like it's nothing. But for the last few years, they've been like going hard with like the do-it-yourself sort of aspect. With like they started their own business. There's a pizzeria called Martin Brothers, which is downtown in Leicester, and
Speaking of sponsorships,
yeah. I mean, like you can cut it out if you want to. Like they weren't sponsoring for shit. But,
I don't know.
all I
maybe,
wanted
maybe.
was one slice. I just wanted one
Just
slice.
one slice. It's good pizza as well, but I think we're pretty biased when we say that. But I
No, it's
think
been confirmed.
It's-
There's been a
yeah.
few people that have given it the okay for sure.
yeah, it's all good. But they've been focusing on that for the longest time, especially like post COVID as well, or like going into COVID really, like 2019. They were really like sort of like putting the pedal to the metal to like go like full steam ahead with the business and things like that. And then it sort of picked up, and then things slowed down like musically for us. But now it's again like picking up now, where like they've sort of plateaued with their business in the sense that they're more comfortable like taking time off and stuff. So you know, at the end of the day, this band is a hobby. I think some of us take it as less of a hobby, myself included, because like if I'm not doing this, I'm not doing jack shit with my life.
I'm lying down
I-
and never opening my eyes.
Like, and I think that's the thing with music as well, is like when it's been such a like mainstay in your like adult life for like the longest time, you kind of feel a bit lost without it. So it's like, for me personally, I've been, especially when we have like downtime with not playing shows, like I'm pursuing other projects and things like that. Connor's been doing the same as well. And like we live together, so like we're constantly like, oh, I've just started this thing, or like, oh, I just got this recording back, I've done this, and then like we'll just be like stoked to like do other stuff. But it's like 50-50 whether it works or not, because I think especially in the case of us four, it's very much lightning in the bottle in the sense that we all understand each other we all know what we want from it, and everyone has their own like specific role. Like for me, I've got no musical talent at all. I'll just wait for these three guys to like just get everything like demoed or tracked and just ready to go, and then I'll just like do whatever it is that I do. But you know,
That's
I trust,
2 punches after now, by the way.
I trust
2
them.
bouts of humility.
I trust them with the process, and you know, it's always been like successful for us, and you know, we're always just happy to like put out new shit. We haven't done it for a while, but hopefully we can soon. But we've got some things in the works, I'd say.
That's a very neat little note to put towards as we get to the end of this, which I don't know if you've been told, actually. We usually try and tell people before we start because a lot of people are terrible at coming up with stuff on the spot. I don't think it'll be the case with you guys.
It's the ADHD, thank you.
Yeah. If we had one more person here, we could be ADH. And then, we do a thing called like Desert Island, basically, at the end, which is just you get one movie, you get one album, and you get one book. And you're going to be stuck with it forever or until you die. So obviously, usually people get a little bit of time to think about this, but you don't. Who's more confident to start this?
Well,
and
one
we're going to go...
movie-
Yeah, we'll start with the movie.
One movie, I'd say we'd have to go with that Mortal Kombat shit that we watched last night.
No.
That's that.
The new Mortal
The new
Kombat?
one, it was whack. I mean, the
Have you seen
1995
it?
one is sacred.
You know the point of this is to take something you enjoy.
Yeah, yeah.
Nah, I mean,
I'm gonna punish myself on that
Right.
desert island.
Yo,
I've
I've
fucking lost anyway.
I've already been enough of a dickhead to somehow end up stranded on an island by
I
myself.
don't deserve a nice film.
And you know it's gonna be some fucked up shit like, why have I been stranded on like Little St James or something? Of all places.
So the
Like,
new
fucking
Mortal Kombat, but it's only
trash.
like only the CGI. That's all you get.
trash. Just the oh, goddamn one film.
I do like Kano in that film though.
Nah.
No.
What kind of accent was that?
I don't know, but I love it. I love it.
Are you Cockney? Are you Australian?
Exactly.
Well, actually,
I love that.
actually,
And you're ginger.
common misconception, it was a British accent in the original one, but it was so bad.
They made him
They
Australian.
canonically made him Australian in the video
That's very
games.
true.
They canonically made him Australian. That was the thing. So for me, and it's got to be like a Guy Ritchie film or something. Like I've got to like maintain my masculinity when I'm like, you know,
When I'm on this island, on
when
my
when
own.
I'm naked and afraid on this island, I still need to.
Before I
you
start
know,
falling in love with the
yeah,
crime,
so-
I need to...
It's got to be a Roman Empire documentary. No, it'll be some shit like Fight Club or something like
That's what you want to
yeah,
do.
introspective. You
It's
know,
the
like,
multiple personality.
yeah, I mean, I'll develop a Tyler Durden at
Yeah.
some point, and then I will create my own empire on the island. It's either that or like something. I like Snatch as well. Great film.
Sure.
No, I just love Brad Pitt. Okay, give me any Brad Pitt film.
Who does?
Fury, Inglourious Basterds.
Fury's a
let's go.
banger, actually. Fury's the one that I don't hear people talk about too much. But Inglourious Basterds, obviously, very famously.
I'm not really a film buff. I'm more of a TV series kind of guy.
You can
But
make a TV show if you don't want a movie.
I don't know. The internet might not be that good, so I can't really stream anything out there.
Well, you'll have a
You get
box
it on
set.
DVD.
Yeah.
I'll get King of the Hill or something like that.
King of the Wow.
Yeah,
Strong.
that'd be cool.
Strong.
So it was film. What else did we have?
Well, one film for yourself, Connor.
I was just waiting for him to do his 3. I didn't prepare
Yeah, no,
anything.
you don't get that luxury.
Oh, I don't know, one film.
Mr. ADHD can't get it.
Shit. Put me on the spot. Probably La Haine.
Oh,
Yeah. Because
Wow.
it's just
We
it.
just got back from Paris.
Yeah, straight up.
Give me that French new wave.
And also,
give me that.
man, it's just so good, man. Like
There are some beautiful shots.
I've watched it so many times. Either that or I know it's not got a great storyline. Well, I mean, it's all right. It got a bit of a shit rating, but Belly is like fucking just for the visuals
Belly.
and the music and the fashion.
The first 10 minutes on repeat.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid, yeah.
just fill my face with that.
So good.
Very different approaches we're taking it. So let's move on to one book.
One book. Shit, I can't read, man.
That's great. So it's going to be The Hungry Caterpillar.
Yeah, it might be the Hungry
My
Caterpillar.
ABCs.
Or one of the
Biff and
bullshit,
Chip.
like self-help books that every manager I've ever had has given to me.
The subtle art of not giving a fuck.
Yeah, I got given The Secret one time by
Fuck The
someone.
Secret.
And I was like, yeah, I gave it a go because I didn't know what it was about.
I'm
at the
so
time.
angry at The Secret. I'd heard it was this huge book that everyone loved, and I saw the cover,
It's
and the
a
cover
cult.
is this wax seal, and it's like this, and I thought like, oh, it's gonna be like fucking national treasure.
It's like some Harry
Like Da
Potter
Vinci
shit.
Code, and then I
Dust
read
off it.
Yeah.
Biggest load of bollocks, man. Like, yeah, I read that, but again, like, if we're going with like to spite myself, I probably would take that. But in terms of books, I don't know.
You're your own jigsaw right now. You're just
I am
like-
my own jigsaw. I want to play this game.
Let's just have one video.
I'll take a picture book or something like that.
Yeah, picture book's nice.
Like a visual novel.
A comic book. You're taking a comic.
Yeah, I'll take a
You're
comic
taking a
book.
comic.
I will take Secret Wars or like Infinity.
Yeah,
War.
well.
Yeah, something like
Wow, those old comic books. But
that. They'll fall apart.
oh yeah, absolutely. The water fucked it up already. One book, Connor.
I mean, I struggle to get through a full book, to be honest with you, because I've got no attention span at all. But the one book that I've tried to read and I'm about 3/4 through is The Story of the Streets by Mike Skinner. Which, I mean, it's an interesting book. It's not on him. I ain't got the attention span. But if I'm on a desert island, I've got all the time in the world.
Well, you
So-
picked a pretty interesting book choice for Tor, didn't you? Was that a Carla book? Wasn't
Oh
it?
yeah. I can't remember what it's called, but
Nice
it's
easy read.
it's
for
a
the
book
road.
by Akala, and
A
yeah,
nice
it was-
calming, chilling.
No, it was interesting. Like, I didn't get through much of it. I only read it for about 15-20 minutes, but I'm gonna go back to
That's
it.
the review. On how
No. Honestly, it's really interesting. I felt like I learned a lot about like our history in the UK that they don't really teach you in school, and yeah, some of it was eye-opening, but I just need to read more of it really. But it was kind of like 10 minutes after we'd been swimming. I was like drying off, so I was like, oh, I'll do a bit of reading. But
you were free in the European countryside.
Yeah.
Then you're like, right, let's get into why I'm wrong about life.
yeah, literally, like time to question myself.
Yeah.
While everything seems nice, but no, like the vibe was so good in the van all the way. There wasn't any time to read. Do you know what I mean?
That's
like
fair.
we were belting out bangers.
You can't read when you're getting shouted in your ear for 3 hours straight.
I call it singing, actually.
Yeah, all right, cool. That's my job,
Um,
motherfucker.
And this was the end of Frantic State. So one album. That's the last one. One album.
Shit. Man.
I love that album.
Yeah.
Man, the beginning of time.
Man, I could be here all day.
Well, the camera's gonna cut off in
Can-
5 minutes.
Can we do like an honorary mention or something like that as well?
Sure, if you want.
Okay.
Have as many as you want.
I'm not
mate.
gonna take it to the desert island, but
Nah, I'll do a mixtape of like
fuck off.
different songs. Nah, okay. I mean, for me, it's probably Low End Theory by Tribe Called Quest.
Okay.
It's
Bang.
between that or Baduism by Erykah Badu. Both
Another
very great
banger.
albums. Yeah, I mean, I've got
This
bangers
is
on
worse because now you've chosen like a movie you don't enjoy, a book that you're gonna hate, and then like the best, yeah, the most chilling music.
Nah, like, okay, so if we're gonna pick like worst album, I mean, it's got to be that shit Corey Feldman dropped a few years ago. Yeah, man, like fucking
You're not gonna go for the Steven Seagal.
fucking Skrillex looking ass. Steven, we could do that. Or like some David Hasselhoff shit. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, you really live in your SpongeBob out there.
Save me!
Tribe Called Quest, man. All the way.
This is a great album to be fair, as well as Baduism actually. Erykah Badu, always great.
The
The
feel-
Tweenie soundtrack.
the Tweenie soundtrack. I feel really late by saying this, but probably Illmatic by Nas,
That was another pick of mine.
which
Strong.
is
Strong.
Stone Cold classic, or I don't know, man. Like,
It's crazy listening to Illmatic and thinking of like every New York borough he's talking about.
Right.
Why-
Shout out Nas, man.
I just
He's
wanna do
dropping.
The sea.
I want to do the Nas tour. Like, I just want to
Oh,
walk around with
crazy,
headphones in. I mean,
yes.
I would probably, die, but I'd go out happy.
No,
So, I mean, some of those ends are probably a bit better now, but like,
a lot,
man,
gentrified out.
if it was that time, though.
Oh, yeah,
like,
you're
I want to
fucked.
see
Yeah,
that
yeah.
shit.
And he
but-
just dropped a banger like last week.
Yeah,
he's like
yeah,
50
yeah,
and
absolutely.
doing bits.
He's still killing it. Yeah.
and he looks 30. Like that shit's crazy. Like he has not aged a day, and it's mental and like unreal. Yeah, shout out Nas, man.
Shout out Nas.
Genuinely,
Sponsor.
one of the. To be fair, when you're thinking of like rappers from their heyday, essentially that are still trying to go now, Nas is probably one of the few who like still keeps up his content to the quality of what you would expect.
He knows he doesn't need money, which I
so
think
he does it for the love of it.
he
and
does it
that's
for the
that's
love of it,
best
which
part.
is why I think he's just like leagues above. And like I think a lot of like the new heads still respect him, whereas like a lot of new heads don't respect like their elders. Which obviously that's bait in saying that. It's like respect your elders, but sometimes you have to respect your elders, especially when it's fucking.
Sometimes
you gotta
Nasty
respect
drill.
your elders.
But
Don't talk to me that way,
I'd say
boy.
like,
I made this road.
what would your 3 picks be?
Fuck. No one asked me shit. No, reverse.
Now to you.
I feel like it's a Yu-Gi-Oh!
Can I answer your question with a question?
Well, oh fuck, I can't do this now because everyone asks me every episode. I'm gonna have to change them, and now I'm a liar. No. You know what? Fuck
It's a
it.
different island every time.
It's
It's
okay.
a different predicament.
What's the temperature?
How do you keep fucking up this bad?
Listen, I run this because I want everyone to hate me. That's why I do this. I would probably go like one movie. I'm hitting Truman Show.
Oh, okay.
Purely because
Get introspective.
I also want to pray that I can walk out of the fucking thing at the end. Spoiler for Truman Show. I guess.
Don't watch it.
It's been long enough.
No, do watch
Yeah, it's been fucking decades. One
it. It was
book,
Bruce Willis the whole time. No!
book I would probably go for. This is pretty fucking stupid, but I would go for one of those choose your own adventure books.
Ooh,
Where
like
you
the
can, like-
Goosebumps ones.
Yeah, where you can be like, go to page 3, and then when I reread it, I'll be like, fuck that shit, I'm going to page 16 and whatever. And then album, that's probably the most difficult. I fucking fell in love with Because of the Internet by Childish Gambino. But if I listen to that on a fucking desert island, I'm pretty sure I will somehow trip out without drugs and then die.
That's the goal.
Well, if I wanted to,
That's why people do DMT.
Oh, we're on a podcast talking about DMT, man. We could be here.
Pull that up.
but if
Pull it up, Chris.
I'll be
Let's
so
go.
real though. I kind of like the idea of torturing myself because why have I got into this situation? And if I was doing that, my one movie would be the fucking emoji. No, Avatar: The Last Airbender by M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh, okay.
Because I fucking hate that piece of shit. The one worst album for me to have would probably be like Kids Bop 16.
Oh,
Where I have a bunch
yes.
of children singing.
There'll be
like,
some shite
"Wet
on
ass,"
there.
but they can't say pussy. So I don't know what they're saying. Like,
Wet ass problems.
oh,
Kids Bop. It's like Lady Goo Goo Gaga. Isn't it?
Fucking hell. And then the worst book would it would probably be something like The Secret, like Eat, Pray, Love or something.
Oh, yeah.
So
Sure.
yeah.
Well,
I can't eat.
I can
I
pray.
don't want to pray because I don't believe right now.
got nothing to
Why did you do this? And I ain't loving shit.
Who I don't love shit. That's why I picked all the worst stuff because I'm a fucking sadist.
But with that, it was great to have you guys here.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thanks for having us.
I have no idea how this is gonna come out given the difficulties we're having, but fuck it.
Yeah.
Cut all of it.
Every good idea starts with fuck it.
As this
And it
episode
ends
Quote
with
me.
fuck it as well.
quote me.
Quote me.
Oh, no.
Don't quote me. That sounds horrible.
I'm getting a
That
tattoo on
sounds
my
absolutely
chest.
horrible.
No regrets.
No regrets.
But that's it, man. You can stop recording now.
Fuck it.
Kill me.